Hello everyone, this is Jesse back again with another video. This will actually be the last video or last topic that we'll discuss in this beginner series for the Selenium automation processes, in particular to C#. Like I've said in all the past videos, I have Visual Studios here up and running, and we've done the construction of code. We've done looking at tags and figuring out how to get the elements for the code to interact with, and we've talked about setting up the tests and things like that. So I figured at this point it's now time to put all the things we've learned together and construct a simple test from scratch, right? So what we're going to do here essentially is we're going to recreate the login test, right? But instead of calling functions from the, hold on, it's initializing some stuff. But instead of calling methods from the automation helper, we're going to actually write the test from scratch, meaning that you'll see how the driver, type username, type password is constructed, what it looks like, how it's put together, and all that stuff. So the first thing we're going to do here is, like we discussed, we're going to add a new test, right? So that would mean we're adding a new test, which is going to be the test scripts and the test scripts, the test scripts folder. We've got, I think this is really important. I've had a lot of fun recording these videos, doing this series. But I think it's really important to just come around and talk about all the things that, we learned while we were doing this, and the things that we can do moving forward. So there will be an intermediate and probably an advanced series, or there may just be an advanced series depending on how the topics that are coming to mind for me, how important I feel they are to the series on Selenium and just automation testing in general as a whole. So let's make a new test. So this is specifically for this video, so we're going to call this file, right, login Marshall vid. That'll be the name of this file. I can name the test. This will not actually be the name of the test. This will just be for the purposes of it being organized in the folder. So as you guys can see right now, see it generated just a simple unit test kind of setup here. So you got the login Marshall vid. You can see it's pretty similar to what we start off with over here. So let's just get right down to it, right? Okay, so we have these things set up over here. However, the first thing we need to look at, obviously, is from the very top, right? We have using system, we have using Microsoft Visual Studio .testtools.unit testing, right? What are we missing from our other files, right? From the other test files. Well, first, it needs to also include Selenium. Second, it needs to call to the UI automation helper. Although in this case, we will exclude that unless there is some situation that we need it. And then using Selenium automation will also be excluded, I believe. No, actually, we need the UI test base class, so Selenium automation will be a part of it, but the automation helper we will cut out. So actually, we can just copy the using statements from here. Right, we can add them underneath here. So this essentially is just saying that we have everything that we need now to write the UI automation test with Selenium and C#. We have all the using statements we need. With the latest version of Visual Studios, some of them can be removed. See, remove unnecessary usings. I'm not going to do that for this case because not all versions of Visual Studio can actually do this. So if you're using a 2013 version or any other version of Visual Studios, that feature is not really there. So I'm just going to leave these here because of Visual Studios 2013, you would need all these statements here. So we're just going to leave them here, right? So yeah, so it's in the namespace Selenium automation.test scripts, which means, like we said earlier, it's part of the Selenium automation project out of the 2 projects, and it's in the test scripts folder, right? Just for organization purposes. Automatically generated that. I didn't have to do anything to get that to come up. Test class essentially dictates that everything that will be a part of this is part of the test, right? Or is a test, right? Public class lock-in Marshall vid, right? So now we have the class that will dictate that dictates the test file, right? There's something missing though, which is the connection to the test-based file, which will start up and close down the tests. You can see it appears here. So it's just for we need this here to connect our new test now to the automation base file, which includes the setting up the test and tearing down the test, right? Now this first method says public void test method 1. This method will be converted to the name of the test. So the name of this test will be login to Marshall for video, right? Pretty straightforward. So we're running into a problem here, right? It's going to be a method, so that does need to have the parentheses here, right? Pretty straightforward. So now, this is basically our book cover. Now we're getting into our table of contents, right? So table of contents need to be kind of clear. We need to talk about exactly what's going to happen in the test. Step 1, logging in, right? Step 2, verify that you've logged in. Step 3, log out, right? The first step, like I just said, will be log in to Marshall. And that's going to be a method. So it's trying to. And actually, this should also be 1L. Marshall is 1L. Second one should be verify login succeeded, right? And then the last step will be log out. Okay. Now we have looking pretty similar to what we have here. Now we got the first table of contents. We have this written out here. Now you can see that each of these has a red squiggly line underneath it, which basically means that these methods are not defined, or simply that these don't do anything. There's no definition for these. See, you can see it says the name login to Marshall does not exist in the current context, which means there's no method that dictates this test. So right here, what we can actually do is if you click this light bulb right here, I think this exists in the most recent versions of Visual Studio, including the 2013 version, because I remember seeing it there. If you click generate method, right, then see it generates the logout method for you, and it just puts the not implemented exception, which basically means that this does not do anything yet. If you try to run the test with this here, it will fail because it's just saying that this method doesn't do anything. You usually do this process from the bottom up. So after you've created your table of contents, you can go from the bottom and generate each one using this the light bulb method. We'll call it that. Let's see. I see a generate method because it'll always put it up right above the last one, the last one that you just generated, and then generate login. Okay, now you see the red squiggly lines are gone, which means that everything that these methods are now defined. Even though the definition doesn't do anything, there is a place for these tests to belong. It's very important to constantly save your work. I just hit Control S. You can tell by the green lines that appeared over here and over here actually. It's just always important to save your work. Let's move on to the next step. So we have our table of contents done. Basically our chapters are here. They're empty, right? It's saying, it's basically saying that the chapters will be defined soon or coming soon. That's basically what these mean in context of the book. So it's like chapter 1, and then underneath it says coming soon. Chapter 2 coming soon. Chapter 3 coming soon, right? So now let's get into the nitty gritty kind of what we're gonna do here. Open a new window to Chrome. Right, because we're going to be interacting with the Church March application, which means we need to know the HTML tags that we're going to be dealing with. The first thing, though, of course, is that we need to open the browser, right? So it's driver.navigate.go to navigate. Hold on, it's not popping up the all right, because I forgot to make it a method. Yeah, let me put that here. So we got driver, right? Because the navigate part is a method, like I talked about in one of the previous videos. So we have to have the navigate as a method. So it's like driver.navigate, because navigate is a method. Go to URL, which is also a method, and then base URL, as you can see here, is a string that is part of the UI automation test base file that we connected this to earlier here at the top, right? Which is where it could get the base URL from, which is derived from the app config file. So since that's all one statement, it's basically saying driver.go to navigate, go to base URL. After that, we're going to be on the home screen, right? So let's say driver.find element, right? Okay. Now I've started typing this already, which I shouldn't have done. I'll show you guys why. We need to make sure we understand exactly what we're doing. So let me go over here to churchmarshall.com, right? So it's like now we're on the home page. We need to make sure that we are interacting with this text box specifically, right? So we inspect it. So username text box, right? The name is admin underscore username. The ID is admin underscore username, same. So the only things we interact with on this page will be the username text box, the password text box, and the submit button, right? So there are 3 things that we need to collect. We need to collect IDs for all 3 of these, right? So the ID for this one, for the username text box is ID underscore username. The one for the password text box is admin underscore password, and the one for the submit button is LN submit, I believe. Yes. Yeah, right here. A name, although it doesn't have an ID, but it has a name. So the name is LN submit. So we're going to go back here now to Visual Studios. So we told it to find the element. Now we want it to find, the first part would be the username, right? The username text box. So we're going to have it find it by ID. We need another parentheses because the by ID is a method, right? The find is part of the find element by method, right? And here we'll put quotation marks to signify that this is a string or a set of characters, right, that we're looking for. The ID for that is admin username, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. It's the